Alrighty, what's happening, my people? I got like kind of a lot of thoughts today. I always get loogies also whenever I start making videos. Not sure why. Anyway, I think it's because I'm clearing my throat and there's some stuff going on. Anyway, first thought was today I got up at 4:40, kind of like I usually do for this job situation, and I went immediately to this new gym that I'm not a member with yet. But I got my 7-day free trial thing, and so I immediately went to that gym at basically 5 a.m. And went to the Stairmaster and did some cardio. And that was the first time I've really ever done that, because I was doing some research on people and what morning routines they had, and it seemed like a very common thread. A majority of them had the whole cardio, weights, exercise thing in the morning, which I again had kind of been doing before, but not really. It was yoga that was not particularly hard. Anyway, I think I enjoyed it. I'm gonna keep trying it just for a few days just to see how it goes. But I felt like I was vastly more productive. It was tough. It was like freezing cold and so dark. And I was tired. I just rolled out of bed. So it's hard to motivate yourself to do that kind of thing when you're feeling like that at that time. But I think that it's worth it, and I'm already fairly used to the whole getting up early, doing stuff routine thing. So anyway, I think I'm going to start doing that more and see how that goes. So anyway, that was that. Other thoughts. I guess one of the things I was thinking about today a lot for some reason was, with all this Christmas music playing all the time, it for some reason makes me really wish that I was with that girl I used to talk to a little bit. I was having these thoughts of her like all day for some reason. I've kind of not been having too many thoughts of her, and I've been doing fine. I'm doing pretty good. But I think that in the holiday season and like the Christmas spirit, all these songs are saying like, go be with your loved ones and go be with your family and express your love to people and all this stuff, all these touchy-feely things, which I'm not trying to make that sound like a bad thing, but it's just those types of feelings and songs that kind of get me thinking about her again. And I don't know, maybe just kind of, I guess sad is the right word for it. Just sort of sad that we aren't able to share this time together, because I really wish that we could. And I mean, things are different now. Like, there's no bad blood, but it would just be kind of weird to do that now. At least for me, it would. And I don't know. I was just really wanting somebody in my near me, in my town, and just someone that I feel really closely with and connected to share this time with. Because that's kind of what holidays are all about. Is just sharing time with people that are close to you. And a lot of me really, really still wishes that I could do that with her and could just share this whole Christmas thing with her. And so I've been kind of thinking about that, and I'm reminded fairly frequently of that because of just all this Christmas music everywhere. And so many of the songs make me just think about us and her. So I don't know, I guess that was on my mind quite a bit today. I am pretty curious if she's had similar thoughts at all or what she's thinking, but I don't know. We haven't talked in probably over a week now, so I don't know. We stay in touch here and there, but I guess now we're getting a little sidetracked. So anyway, that was that. Speaking of Christmas, there's sawdust everywhere. Speaking of Christmas, so I'm listening to more lyrics of the songs that are Christmas songs, and one of the things that I just learned, I think today is when I wrote this down, basically, is the whole Rudolph story. Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, had a very shiny nose. He was picked on, and he was made fun of, and he was never, people didn't want to hang out with him at all. And then finally, Santa says, "Hey, shit's getting crazy out here. I need your help. I need you to guide my way." And I just realized that that's a total life lesson. This isn't some dumb kid story with a deer that has a shiny nose. It's not about that at all. It sounds cool and nice for kids, but the real message, though, is that since Rudolph was the unique one who was willing, he's an outcast. He's different than the rest of them. Santa, or I don't really know what Santa's metaphor would be, but I don't know, the universe, or I don't know, I guess just the universe, called on the unique one to lead the way. And, it's the unique people who are outcasts a lot of times who end up leading the way. I mean, think about Steve Jobs, for example. He's a total outcast. He's a total, I don't want to say weirdo, but he thinks so differently than everybody else. He's so much more innovative and creative, and he thinks in a different way. His mind operates just on a different wavelength. He has different gears in there that make him function differently. He is the Rudolph. Rudolph is the unique one who has different traits and different characteristics that make him a unique person, or a unique deer, or whatever. And it's those people who are willing to kind of, I think, go through that, that being an outcast and not people not wanting to hang out with you, who are willing to do that to get to greatness or success. I think that's an interesting metaphor that I never really thought about until literally today. Because why would Santa pick Rudolph? Because his okay, yeah, I guess I've been over this now officially. But because he's different, because he has a quality that none of the other reindeer have, and he was the one that was called on. And I think that's the same thing in normal life. I think that people who are disciplined and wake up at 5 and go do cardio and are dedicated to their goals and their dreams are the ones who get called on. Not by Santa, obviously, but by the things they're reaching for and the things that they're aspiring to do and to be. I think it's those people who are doing the things that most people aren't doing that get what they want. That's, I think, basically what that whole story comes down to, the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer story. So I had that thought today, kind of interesting. Next on the list, so I was listening to this podcast. This guy named Michael Taylor is awesome. He's super, super good. There's this podcast called The Smart Couple. Why am I turning here? I don't know. Here we go, though. Called The Smart Couple Podcast. Anyway, they had a guest named Michael Taylor, who I've actually listened to before. This is like just after me and this girl kind of split up. I listened to this whole podcast, but I think that my mind was just I was in so much pain that I couldn't really listen to things in the same way that I can now. So I'm listening to that podcast again, and I picked up some different things. I heard different parts of the podcast that I didn't hear before. Anyway, the point is, Michael Taylor's amazing, and he has some really, really cool points about, I think it was the 5 myths about being a man, or the 5, I think something like that. Anyway, not one of those 5, but just something interesting that I wrote down was this whole idea of conflict versus fighting, and how if you're a human being, you will have conflict with somebody else, because you're not going to see totally eye to eye, and we all have differences. Every person is unique, kind of like I guess it's a different, never mind. But every person is unique and sees things differently and has different perspectives and different experiences and different environments around them. We're all very unique, and so we're not going to see totally eye to eye on every single thing in the world. We will not. That's a fact. And so that's conflict. Conflict is natural. We're going to have differences in opinion and just otherwise. But fighting is where it's where you're arguing about, you want to be right. That's kind of what he was talking about, how when you're arguing, it's not about conflict. It's not about having a difference in opinion. It's about you're feeling a certain way, and now you want to bring this up to them in a argumentative way. And that, yeah, I guess that arguing and fighting is just, it doesn't really go anywhere. And it's not actually that you're needing to argue or fight. There's something else lying behind it. I guess that was kind of the main point. But he was just saying that it's the idea of you want to be right, which is not the same thing as just having a different opinion. So it's conflict versus fighting or arguing. So that was kind of interesting to me, I thought, when I heard him say that. I also, when I was listening to that, I just wrote down like basically every characteristic that I want in a that I would want in a girl. I'm not gonna read them to you, I guess, but anyway, I wrote that down just so I could like solidify and maybe clarify what I already knew in my head. I don't know. I don't really know why I shared that, but I did it, and there it is. Other things happen. Someone might have just thrown up in their car. Other things happening. I am beginning this super low carb diet. So yesterday and today, I've been doing that. It's 4:15 p.m. I'm not gonna go. 4:15 p.m. and low carb or no, especially no carb is insane. Low carb is so difficult. Everything that I have and everything that I enjoy eating is full of carbs. And now that I'm doing this low carb thing, I'm limited significantly in what I am able to eat. And it's been going fine. I have definitely been hungrier than normal, which is okay. But this whole idea, the low carb thing is my preparation for this fast I'm going to go on starting on Saturday. So 3 to 5 days in advance, you're supposed to, you're not supposed to, but you can go low carb to train your brain to not be searching for glucose. So when you eat carbs, bread, and all this stuff, it gets digested as glucose, and your body searches for that as sugar, as energy, and it's used to looking for glucose all the time. If you're consistently eating carbs, it's used to that. So the idea is that when you're no longer when you go low carb, your body already knows not to be searching for glucose because there's nothing in the system. It already is used to not searching for glucose, which causes you to be less hungry, which is the main goal. But also, I guess I'm just doing a little experiment, and I actually do feel better, I think. Not crazy, not yet anyway, but I do feel, I think, a little bit more clear-minded. Yeah, maybe that's the only thing I can think of right now. When I'm not eating so many carbs, I feel like I get more tired when I have that many carbs, because I eat a ton of carbs. Like, that's basically all that I eat. My oatmeal has a ton. My burrito, the bread that I eat, my brats, basically everything, my potatoes. There's carbs filling up my diet normally, and cutting away from that's been actually a little tricky, and I've been utterly disciplined with it, and it's hard. I am a disciplined person compared to a lot of people. I think that's probably pretty fair to say. And now I'm being tested again. This is not an easy thing, this whole low carb thing, and definitely not be easy to do a 3-day fast. That's the real discipline check. But I'm being tested again on my whole discipline thing because I think for a while, I think I might have been starting to slack a little bit and eating things that maybe weren't quite perfect. Good. I wasn't like eating cookies and cake and stuff, but not quite what they maybe should be. Maybe not quite enough. Greens and vegetables. So anyway, I'm doing that. So I got a few days left until showdown, till the 3-day fast. I don't think I have anything else for you. Yeah. Okay. That's all I got. All right. See you tomorrow. Roger out.